Oh, yeah. We're live. There we go. Now then, now that we're live, we are going to share this out. We are live, so that means that we gotta share it out. So, let us get this party started. Oh, we got a couple people in here. Well, first things first, we have to share this out. Look at this, Kismark TV. Kismark TV. What's going on, brother? Go. Post. Got a couple people in here. Let me post that. Let me share this. We have 4 people watching so far. What's going on, Adam? What's going on, Adam, brother? So I'm just going to share this out. Just got to share it out to a couple people. Sharing. We're going to share it first, and then we'll get started in a little bit. Just got to make sure I got everything. Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Trust me, you know that. It's going to be awesome. You know it's going to be awesome because when you got DJ Storms here, everything's awesome. Everything's awesome with DJ motherfucker. Oh, my God. Leo's here. We got Leo. We're going to start in just a minute. I'm just sharing everything out. Sharing it out to my groups on the Twitters. On the Twitters. Sharing and sharing. We're going to share it to a couple more people. Where's Winston? I know Leo's got his boy Winston. Wonder where he is. We need the Winston man. Oh, the Winston man can. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying at that rate. All right. A couple more. Here we go. Yes. Got that. We got to get Nick Man in here. Where's Nick Man? Here we go. Nick Man. Share that. Hey, Danielle. My girl Danielle, I know she shared. She's awesome. Let me go retweet your share. I'm going to go retweet your share in just a minute. I'm just sharing it out to a couple more people. Here we go. Looking for your Twitter. Where's Danielle's Twitter? Here we go. There we go. Now, there's a couple more people. Okay, here we go. Just gotta share it to a couple more people. Come on, no, that's not what I want to do. Come on, we have to share. We gotta share this to a couple people before we start the stream. What's going on, Cross Devil? Please hit that like button when you come in and share the stream out. Oh yeah, I heard about that, Adam. I heard about that. I definitely heard about that. Apparently they're taking over the third-party partnerships. Not really sure how I feel about that. Keenan from Twitter. That's you. Get out of here. I've been waiting for you, bro. Where have you been? Been waiting for you, brother. Where the hell have you been, man? You've been MIA for a while. Like you can't just be following me on Twitter and then not come in the chats. Can't just not come in the chats whenever I go live, bro. Can't be doing that. Come on. You can't be doing that. Come on. Oh, you have? Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Just making sure. Well, pretty much. Like, Vince McMahon does everything to get more money at him, if we're going to be quite honest here. Vince McMahon does fucking everything to get more money. I mean, what y'all talking about? Liam, okay, here we go. I'm going to start in just a little bit. I actually do. He's my inspiration. He was my inspiration to start this all. Who else should I share it to? There's someone else. Okay, wait, here we go. All right. One more person we're going to share it to, and then we will get started in just a little bit. Oh, yeah, we're 6 minutes in. All right, I think it's time that we get this party started. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you haven't realized it, DJS TORMS is LIVE on YOUTUMB. And now the party can start. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com, as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it. To mankind. This is the official lightning flash update for October 3rd, Saturday, 2020. We got a lot to talk about as far as this week in wrestling goes, and you are going to want to stick around because we have got 6 weekly shows to dissect, and I got a shit ton of news and rumors to talk about, including, as you could see, Randy Orton apparently getting into a backstage fight with Vince McMahon at Clash of Champions. Now, I don't necessarily know how true that is, but we are going to talk about it, and we are going to dissect both sides of the story. Should it be true? Should it not be true? And the potential reasons why he got into a fight with Vince McMahon. Now, again, I don't know how true it is. We're going to talk about it. You can leave your thoughts in the comments. But right now, we are going to start off. We're going to start off, of course, with the news, rumors, and reports. Now, first things first. Please, I need you guys to follow me on Twitter, at HistoryMakerDJS. Of course, you will find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Please follow me on Twitter, at HistoryMakerDJS. Follow me on Instagram and Periscope, at the DJ Storms. I'm thinking about going live on Periscope after my college semester ends, probably to spice it up a little bit, try and give you guys a window into my life outside of the DJ Storms gimmick, outside of the DJ Storms character. Follow me on Facebook as well. Add me on Facebook. I will place all the links in the description after the stream is over. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, stormstakeover@gmail.com. So please go and send me an email if you're interested in collaborating with me. Also, I need you guys to like the official DJ Storms business page, and when you do so, I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. Again, all the links will be in the description after the stream. Now, we are about 10 minutes into the stream. If you guys have not already liked the video, I don't know what you're doing. I need you guys to like the video because that way it'll get me in the eyes of many more people. So I need you guys to hit the like button on that video as soon as you come into the stream. As soon as you come in, you gotta hit the like. I know Leo's gonna be telling you, Danielle's gonna be telling you, hit the like button. I got goals I want to reach. And when you hit the like button, be sure to share the stream out. Share it out on all platforms of social media. We got to get more people in here. We talking a lot of shit today before I eventually leave to go to my grandma's and be going over for some dinner. Hopefully some eggplant parm. Hell of a lot better than talking Monday Night Raw. But I digress there. So please, like the stream. Like it. And share it out. And when you share it out, got to keep the conversation going. I will be sure to check the chat after every single section of the LFU that we do. So after I'm done with the news, rumors, and reports, I'm going to check the chat. I will read through all your comments, and then we will get into the weekly show reviews. Please keep the chat going, spark up the conversation. We only got 3 people watching and 5 thumbs up. See, that's a problem. That's a problem right there. We need more. We need more. I am not satisfied until we at least get over 10 people watching and we got 20, 30 thumbs up. That's what we need right now. So please share the stream out. Keep the conversation going. And when you keep the conversation going, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you are not already subscribed to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, I don't know what the fuck you are doing. So please hit the subscribe button. And when you hit the subscribe button, you gotta hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're gonna get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination, this beautiful mustache right here. I also got a fresh cut. Wait a minute, do I have it? I do have it. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. I also got a new Orange Cassidy shirt, if you guys did not realize. And on top of that, I also had a guest on The Rundown yesterday. His name is Matt Moody. He's one of the most loyal members of the DJ Storms posse. If you guys missed The Rundown for NXT TakeOver 31 with Matt Moody, the link will be in the description after the stream. Please go watch it. It was his first time collaborating. He did excellent. Dissected the matches very, very well. Him and me, we did an excellent job for over an hour dissecting NXT TakeOver 31 before the show tomorrow. So please go check that out if you haven't already done so. Be sure to show Matt Moody some love as well. All of his social medias are in the link, the description of that video. So the link to that video will be in the description of this stream, after the stream, obviously. And then when you're watching the rundown for TakeOver 31, please go check the description for Matt Moody's social media links to show him some love. Again, he did excellent. I hope that he's watching. I would love to have him back in the future. He's actually planning on starting a YouTube channel of his own, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about, so we're going to dive right into the news, rumors, and reports. Now, my first report we're going to talk about. Apparently, according to a report from PW Insider, Rob Van Dam and his girlfriend Katie Forbes have left Impact Wrestling. Now, the pair's departure was due to storylines of them breaking up. Now, they had been working on a per-show deal for some time now. The door is said to be open for a return someday down the line. Now, for those of you who've been watching Impact frequently, I have not. I quite frankly don't care for it. Slammiversary was great, don't get me wrong. Slammiversary was very, very good. But ultimately, if we're going to be quite honest here, the hype surrounding Impact, regardless of how good the pay-per-views are, it really just dies. It kind of lives and dies on the same night. So no one really cares about Impact as a whole. And as far as RVD goes, RVD, he doesn't feel the same. He really doesn't feel the same. He's really reduced himself to pretty much a shell of his former self with his two girlfriends and Katie Forbes. Katie Forbes is fucking terrible. I mean, this is not the shit that I want to see as far as a wrestling product goes. So, ultimately, I don't really care that him and his girlfriend left Impact Wrestling. More likely than not, they'll probably return someday down the line. As far as WWE and AEW goes, a lot of people have been predicting, oh my god, he's going to go here, he's going to go here. Wherever he goes, it really isn't going to matter because he's not going to make a difference, is RVD. And you really think that WWE is going to take Katie Forbes with the gimmick that she has being a former escort and everything? I don't think so. I don't think that would look good in the eyes of the public relations staff. It really would not look good as far as public relations goes, and it really wouldn't fit the mold of the current WWE product right now. So what they really need to be doing with the WWE product right now is what I've said before. They need to start focusing on long-term storytelling. They need to focus on building up new stars, focusing on putting the correct stars in the correct roles. Thank you for staying here, Leo. The main issue with RVD is just the fact that he's just kind of run his course. So even if he goes to AEW, he's really not going to move the needle in AEW. He'll probably bring in a few eyes here and there, but ultimately, Rob Van Dam isn't going to do anything as far as being a draw. Right now, he's on his last legs in his career. So I really don't give a shit about RVD or his girlfriend, Katie Forbes, leaving Impact Wrestling. It really doesn't make a difference all in all. Ah, yes, that's right, Adam. They do have a pay-per-view tonight. It is Victory Road. Eddie Edwards is actually taking on Eric Young for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. So for you Impact fans out there, that's going to be a match that you are going to want to see. But moving on to the next report that we got here from Ryan Satin. Ryan Satin, the resident rodent of the IWC. If I'm the Albert Einstein, then he's the what was it? The Aladdin of the IWC, the street rat of the IWC is Ryan Satin. So Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet, he tweeted out a report on Retribution, and apparently, listen to this. So the report on Retribution read, and I quote, regarding Retribution not being cleared to compete at the moment, sources tell me all 5 members tested negative for COVID-19. However, the group's members each have to quarantine themselves for 2 weeks because they came into proximity with someone who tested positive. End quote. I would not wish COVID upon anyone. I would not wish COVID upon anyone. It is a deadly virus that has killed thousands of people. I mean, you can really, I mean, and definitely, especially right now, especially with President Trump announcing that he tested positive for COVID, you can definitely pinpoint who the scum of the earth really is. Those who are celebrating and making fun of him getting COVID. So whoever's doing that, you are a fucking human piece of shit. Just pointing that out there. But as far as Retribution goes, again, I would not wish COVID upon anyone, but ultimately, I don't give a shit. And that has to do with a lot of things with the WWE. A lot of people, they just don't give a shit. Because Retribution wasn't helping the show. Matter of fact, Retribution made the show worse. Retribution right now, Retribution is probably one of the worst things about the WWE product right now. Right next to Raw Underground. And thank God we didn't get Raw Underground on Monday Night Raw. As far as Retribution goes, at this rate, I said it last week, the best option that you could do with Retribution is you should just end the fucking angle. You should use this, end the fucking angle, do not even have them show face, have them get arrested, have the WWE just put them behind bars for good, don't even unmask them, don't even fucking unmask them, and then have them return either to NXT or have them debut on the main roster with their real names. Because whether you like it or not, they will not go anywhere. They will not go anywhere in this current gimmick and this current storyline that they have for them. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter whether Retribution's on the show or not. It really doesn't matter whether Retribution is on the show or not, because Retribution does not help the show. It actually hurts the show. I mean, when you got Dominik Dijakovic out there in a Bane mask and a Grim Reaper cloak, how the fuck are you going to find any enjoyment? How are you going to find anything that we're going to invest our time in that? When you got Dio Madden out there looking like Shredder, he's in the best shape of his career, and they got him dressing like Shredder. Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez are Hannibal Lecter. Fucking Silence of the Lambs. Thank you, Clarice. Shane Thorne is fucking Jason. Swear to God, it's like, come on. Halloween is in a month. Halloween is in a month, people. Halloween is in a month. I don't really give a shit. And to be quite honest, I don't think anybody gives a shit. I don't understand why anyone would give a shit. That's pretty much that. I wish him a speedy recovery, but regardless, Retribution is not going to help or hurt the show. Oh my God. Keenan, don't even get me started. Of course you're lurking, Danielle. That's what you do. You lurk. Oh, God. Anyway, you know what? Speaking of WWE and COVID-19, listen to this. Speaking of WWE and COVID-19, Dave Meltzer reported that Nia Jax is actually unhappy with how WWE handled her television write-off. Listen to this. Nia Jax quote tweeted WWE's tweet. When WWE tweeted out on Clash of Champions night during the pre-show that her and Shayna Baszler were not medically cleared, she quote tweeted that tweet with one simple word, and I quote, lies. This implied that she may indeed be out with COVID-19. Now, Nia Jax is one of the worst wrestlers on the face of this planet. She is one of the worst wrestlers employed by the WWE. She is one of the worst wrestlers I have ever seen. And anyone who claims that she can wrestle is undoubtedly of the lowest IQ that you will ever find on the face of this planet. In no way, shape, or form is Nia Jax a suitable professional wrestler. Matter of fact, I'm still wondering why Nia Jax wasn't fired along with everyone else on Black Wednesday 6 months ago. You released Deonna Purrazzo, you released Lio Rush, you released Sarah Logan, you released fucking Tainara Conchi, you released the Good Brothers, you released Matt Cardona, but you keep Nia Jax. If Nia Jax was not related to The Rock, she would not have a job. Just pointing that out there. That is factual information. But I'm actually going to defend Nia Jax here, because I agree with her. I agree with her right here. Surprise, surprise. I actually agree with Nia Jax right here. It is fucking ridiculous. She called out WWE on their bullshit. Matter of fact, I wish that more people employed by the WWE would follow in Nia Jax's footsteps and do this. This right here, this is what I would like to see. I fully support Nia Jax in what she did, because quite frankly, the fact that WWE is acting like everything's okay and acting like everything's normal, it's fucking ridiculous. It makes them look stupid. I don't understand why WWE has to act like they're above the virus, or Vince McMahon has to force this agenda upon everyone that everything is sunshine and rainbows and nothing's wrong. You can't avoid this. You can't avoid it. I don't understand why they don't just acknowledge that their wrestlers have COVID. No one's going to take that as a sign of weakness. AEW has publicly come out and say, oh, this person can't be here because they came in proximity with someone who tested positive, or they did test positive for COVID. They're quarantining. I don't understand. COVID is not avoidable. This disease has literally shut down businesses. This disease has killed thousands of people. This disease has caused global-wide travel restrictions that are still going on right now. This disease has completely altered our way of living, but you want to act like everything's okay? And don't give me the bullshit that they can't say it. The only reason why that WWE can't say that someone tested positive with COVID, or they can't acknowledge COVID as a whole, is because of Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon wants to act like he's God. And nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. His own little private bubble, everything's okay. It is fucking ridiculous. I am happy. I am damn proud of Nia Jax for doing that. I am damn proud of Nia Jax for doing that. So much so, I wish that more people would follow in her footsteps. I wish that more people would do that. It is fucking ridiculous how the WWE constantly just acts like everything's okay. They act like they're the only game in town. They act like nothing's the matter. They act like nothing can stop them. They act like nothing can stop them. Just say that they came in proximity with someone who tested positive with COVID, or just say that they got COVID. Enough of this, oh, they're not medically cleared. Apollo Crews, he tested positive for COVID. He was out for the majority of a month. And what did they do? They say he got injured in a pre-match workout all the way back at the horror show at Extreme Rules. Just say they tested positive, or they came into proximity. They came into proximity with someone who tested positive. It's not going to make you look weak. It's not going to make you look ridiculous. The things that you're doing right now, you can't look any more ridiculous than what you're doing with fucking Raw Underground and Retribution. So what does announcing that someone tested positive with COVID going to do? Fucking ridiculous. I wish more people would follow in Nia Jax's footsteps and do that. Call WWE out. Call out the company on their bullshit. Grow a pair of balls. Nia Jax has bigger balls than Seth Rollins. Moving on. You're damn right it's a rant, Danielle. Moving on. WrestleVotes tweeted out a report regarding Hell in a Cell on October 25th. Now, I don't know if this plan is still in place considering what happened on SmackDown last night, but we're going to talk about SmackDown when we get to it. So, they tweeted out, and I quote, Sasha Banks vs Bayley inside Hell in a Cell is the planned main event as of now for the October 25th pay-per-view event. End quote. Now, I don't disagree. I really don't. I don't think anyone would disagree that Sasha and Bayley and the storyline and the feud that has been built up with them over the course of the last year, I don't think anyone would disagree on the fact that them main eventing Hell in a Cell would probably be the best possible decision, and it would make sense because realistically that's the only match that realistically belongs inside Hell in a Cell. I'm not disagreeing with that, but all in all, if we're going to be quite honest here, the storyline, you're pretty much blowing off the storyline. You're pretty much blowing off the storyline on a gimmick pay-per-view. You're pretty much blowing off the storyline in a month. You're pretty much blowing everything away in the entire month of October instead of actually telling a real story. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. The main story here to tell is Sasha Banks winning the Rumble. And I'm still trying to figure out why Sasha Banks is even on television right now. The injuries that she sustained in that Women's Tag Team Championship match, followed up by the attack from her former best friend Bayley, that constituted being out for a couple of months, if we're going to be quite honest. Sasha Banks remaining off of television and Bayley just shoving it in everyone's face how she was the one that took out Sasha Banks. I took out Sasha Banks. I'm still the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. I'm the greatest women's champion on the face of this planet. Blah, blah, blah. That's the shit. That's the shit that is really going to make the storyline worthwhile. And Bayley just shoving it in everyone's face for months and months and months. And then Sasha returning at the Royal Rumble at number 30, a la John Cena from 2008, winning the Rumble and beating Bayley at Mania. That would probably be the best story that WWE has told in a hot minute, if we're going to be quite honest here. Now, they can still do that, but the only way they would do that is if Bayley wins and Bayley injures Sasha Banks so much. Bayley injures Sasha Banks so much that Bayley completely just takes Sasha Banks off of television, and then Sasha Banks is out until the Rumble. And then Sasha Banks comes back, wins the Rumble, and beats Bayley at WrestleMania. They could go that route. And to be quite honest, I hope they go that route. I really do hope they go that route, because that route would probably be a hell of a lot better than just having Sasha Banks win the title inside Hell in a Cell. So we'll see what happens there, but I do not want to see Sasha Banks and Bayley inside Hell in a Cell, to be quite honest with you. Keenan over here wishing that the Fiend changes all these individuals. Paige and Aleister Black, Shinsuke, Shayna, Garza, Andrade, Keith Lee, Riddle, Fandango, Breeze, Charlotte. Seems as though you're on a little bit of a rant mode yourself. You want him to appear in AEW and New Japan. Well, to be quite honest, at this rate, it would probably be the saving grace of his career, because the Fiend is dead. So, moving on to the next report here, we got a report from Steve Carrier of Ringside News. Now, he tweeted out an update on Peyton Royce and her absence off of television. Now, listen to this. So, and I quote, "We've been asked about Peyton Royce and her push. Some said Vince McMahon, quote-unquote, forgot about her. We've been told that it's more along the lines of they decided to drop it. So why did they break up the Iconics? Your guess is as good as everyone else's at this point." End quote. To be quite honest, I'm happy they broke up the Iconics, but here's the thing. If you weren't going to fire them and you weren't going to invest in a singles push in Peyton Royce, then what the fuck was the point? I really don't understand that there. And to be quite honest, I don't understand it, but to be quite honest, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me, because this is Vince McMahon 101. He has a plan, he wants to push someone, and then he just decides to drop it, he gets bored of it, and he doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. Peyton Royce, let me tell you something. Peyton Royce regressed in the ring, but I do see potential in Peyton Royce. I do see some potential in a singles run with Peyton Royce. And if she really does want to improve, if she really does want to get better at her craft, then I have absolutely no problem with that. But if Vince McMahon isn't going to give her a chance, then what the fuck is the point of that? I'm guessing that they could switch her to SmackDown. Like you said, Keenan, they could switch her to SmackDown. They could invest in a singles push with her on SmackDown. She could be an interim opponent for Bayley while Sasha is out before she eventually wins the Rumble, because I'm holding out for that. I'm holding out for Sasha Banks winning the Royal Rumble. But this is typical Vince McMahon 101. Really doesn't surprise me. Especially considering how little he really cares about women's wrestling. And the fact that The women's division right now, it's probably the worst that it's ever been. Undoubtedly the worst that it's ever been. And to be quite honest with you, it is never going to get better. It's not going to get better until Vince McMahon's out of office. Nothing that you haven't already heard me say. It's pretty much just the same shit with the WWE at this rate. It really is the same shit. There's really nothing that I can say that I haven't already said. I'm literally just repeating myself over and over. I'm literally reiterating, repeating myself over and over again every time I talk about Vince McMahon and how he just continuously forgets to push new stars, or he just doesn't want to push new stars, or he gets bored. So at the end of the day, I'd like to have some hope for Peyton Royce, but all in all, this is Vince McMahon one-on-one, and I really have no faith. I'd like to see her improve. I really would like to see her improve, but I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Moving on to a report from Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona actually revealed in a Q&A with Pro Wrestling Junkies on their YouTube channel that his AEW contract has indeed expired. Oh, by the way, what's going on, Alan? Alan Holland. Best time to be on YouTube. You already know it, Alan. Thank you very much for coming. So Matt Cardona stated in this interview with Pro Wrestling Junkies, he stated, and I quote, "Hopefully I'll be there more often. As of now, the agreement we had was through the pay-per-view, so that's it. I didn't go there to get 3 t-shirts. I went there to win some championships, so hopefully you'll be seeing me there very, very soon." End quote. So that's pretty much that as far as Matt Cardona goes. I had a feeling that the deal was kind of through the pay-per-view because he really wasn't utilized after the pay-per-view. I do expect Matt Cardona to be back there sooner rather than later. We'll have to wait and see. But for now it really is what it is. And to be quite honest, it's probably the best for Matt Cardona because right now, Matt Cardona, he really isn't going to factor into anything major in AEW right now because there's a lot of people who are ahead of him. Obviously, you got Lance Archer, you got Brody Lee, Orange Cassidy and Cody, Darby Allin, Ricky Starks. All of these people, they're in positions where they're pretty much taking up the spotlight, especially after what happened. Especially after what happened on Monday and how Ricky Starks and Darby Allin drew over 1 million viewers. You know that the investment is in them. So it's probably the best route for Matt Cardona to go to probably take a break right now and just wait it out. Because right now, all the spots that Matt Cardona wants and all the spots that Matt Cardona is really desiring are pretty much taken. They're pretty much taken. You already have all the spots filled in with guys like MJF and Sammy Guevara and Brian Cage. Will Hobbs is starting to get an opportunity. Will Hobbs is just starting to get an opportunity. I'm very happy that Will Hobbs is starting to get an opportunity, but you're really not going to get anywhere with Will Hobbs right now other than his feud with Brian Cage. So right now it's probably the best route. It's probably the best route for Matt Cardona to go. I do want to see him in AEW down the line, and I do believe that he will be in AEW down the line. Probably at the beginning of the new year. We'll just have to wait it out. Now, before we get into the final report here, based on the thumbnail, my girl Jessica has arrived. Good afternoon, Jess. Glad that you could drop by. So Adam says, expect Monday Night Raw next Monday to be so bad after seeing what WWE tweeted out earlier. I don't know what WWE tweeted out earlier. I don't know what did they tweet out? You have to tell me. You do have to tell me. Big Fight Phil, I knew my dude Joseph Conlon. I knew he was coming, and you came just in time because we're actually getting into the juicy report right here. Casey said hi. Really? Casey said hi. Tell Casey I said hi back. Oh my God, it's the man of the hour. It's Matt Moody. Matt Moody's here. Hit that like button when you come in. Matt Moody's here. I was waiting for Matt Moody to come in. Matt Moody, let me tell you something. The rundown's doing very good. We're actually over 20 likes. So please share it out on all your social medias. We want to get some more likes. We're going to get some more views on the rundown for TakeOver 31. I know my girl just watched it. What was I going to do next? Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to get into the juicy report here. So listen to this. You're going to want to hear this. Apparently, Randy Orton, we missed you too. Come on, Jess, we missed you. You know what we need to do? We need to get Jess on the channel. So here's what we're going to do. Jess, if you could, create a Skype, and I'll Skype you sometime, and we could talk about a collaboration. We could definitely talk about a collaboration. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Matt. So, anyway, the juicy report right here. Listen to this. Randy Orton apparently got into a backstage fight with Vince McMahon. Now, I don't know how true this is. This was reported by a YouTuber called The Sports Entertainer, a YouTuber that claims he has sources. Now, I remember reporting a report from The Sports Entertainer a while back. I believe I reported a report from The Sports Entertainer about a year ago where he talked about Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon getting into a backstage fight at the Super Showdown show in June of 2019. So I don't know how true this really is. I really don't know how true this really is. We're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. To be quite honest, I don't think it's true. I really do not think it's true. I think it's, quite frankly, bullshit. But, Randy Orton, according to the Sports Entertainer's source, apparently got into a backstage fight with Vince McMahon at Clash of Champions, specifically because Vince McMahon changed the finish of his match last minute. Now, I want to dissect both sides of the story here. Let's just go on a limb and hypothetically speak here. Let's hypothetically speak and say this is true. If this is indeed true, if Randy Orton is mad because he is pissed off that Vince can't make up his mind and he's working for a guy that changes his mind more than he changes his pants, then I understand that. I understand his frustration because, quite frankly, I would not want to work for a guy like that. I want to work for a guy who has a solid visionary plan for his company, his employees, and where they want to go, where he wants to position them. So I understand if Randy Orton is mad in that regard because Vince McMahon, he just can't fucking make up his mind. I would be pissed too. And Randy Orton has every right to be pissed that Vince McMahon cannot decide on a solid plan for a program for him. So I understand that. However, if Randy Orton is pissed, if he is mad because he didn't win the WWE Championship, then he's just fucking being selfish. He's just fucking being selfish at that rate. Drew McIntyre winning, I don't care what you think of Drew McIntyre and his WWE Championship reign. I don't care if you think Randy Orton should win. It's irrelevant. Drew McIntyre winning was the correct result. Drew McIntyre, I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Drew McIntyre should not be losing the WWE Championship to anyone except a new star. Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship reign should be used to build up a new star. And I've said this once and I'll say it again. I've compared it to Rhea Ripley's NXT Women's Championship title reign before she got fed to Charlotte Flair. You have the legitimacy. You have the prestige. You have that factor in Drew McIntyre that you need to create a new star. All you need to do now is transfer it to a new star. Now, I don't know whether they're going to do that or not. I hope they do. I don't have any faith that they will, but we'll see what happens there. As far as Randy Orton being mad, if he's mad, and if this fight's true, if he's mad that he didn't win the WWE Championship, he's being what Drew McIntyre said he was on the Monday Night Raw a few weeks before SummerSlam, leading up to their first match. He's a selfish prick. If I'm Randy Orton, I would not be mad that Vince McMahon changed the finish to have me lose to Drew McIntyre. Matter of fact, I would be advocating for Drew McIntyre to go over. I would advocate to Vince to change the finish if I was originally supposed to win. Because Randy Orton, look, I understand you got like 10 years left in the business. I understand you're probably going to be wrestling until you're 50 because you're in the greatest shape of your life. I understand that. I understand that Orton's in the greatest shape of his life, and I understand that Orton has a lot of gas left in the tank. I understand that. But right now, it's not Orton's time. Right now, it's not a moment where Orton is meant to shine. Randy Orton is in the position to put people over right now. And that's exactly what is happening. He put over McIntyre twice, and he put over Keith Lee. That's what should be happening. Randy Orton should be advocating to put people over because nobody's going to look at Randy Orton any differently if he loses. He's Randy Orton. He's a 13-time world champion, Intercontinental champion, U.S. champion, tag team champion, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, winner of the Survivor Series, Money in the Bank winner. He's done it all. He doesn't need a 14th World Championship title win. And on top of that, the feud with Edge doesn't need the championship either. So if he's legitimately mad that he didn't win the WWE Championship, then he's just being a selfish prick. I understand if he's mad because he's working for an indecisive maniac like Vince McMahon, but if he's mad that he didn't win the WWE title, then he's just being fucking selfish. Now that's going out on a limb and saying that this report is true, but all in all, I don't believe that this report is true whatsoever. You could leave your comments in the chat. Tell me what you think, whether this report is true or not. So that wraps up the news, rumors, and reports. Let's check the chat before we move into the weekly show reviews. We missed you too, Jessica. We missed you too, Jessica. So Keenan and Adam both reported that there's a 6-man tag team match going on, and it's going to be Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits versus Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Randy Orton. Fantastic. I can't wait to see them dip below 1.5 million viewers. You should get Ember Moon on here. She has shit on WWE Creative, so she's the homie. Well, that's if I can get in contact with her. I'll see what I can do. Ember Moon's actually my favorite superstar, my favorite women's wrestler right now, just so you know. He should get younger talent like Garza, Belair, Vega, Andrade, Thorne, Yim, Martinez, Vink, Grimes, etc. over. But he's not, because in WWE, their mission is to bury new talent. Speaking of being buried, you want to talk about a show that is buried 6 feet under? Look no further than Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, I don't know what the fuck else I can say about Monday Night Raw. Again, I've stated before, it's the same shit with the entire WWE. I'm literally repeating the same shit over and over and over again with Monday Night Raw. Nothing that I say will be any different than the next guy, or the next guy with a brain, because you know that this community is littered with a bunch of fucking morons. So, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Joseph, I would save that question. Until we get to the SmackDown portion of the review. But since you're leaving at 2:30, I'm going to answer the question for you now. No, I do not think that Sasha Banks versus Bayley is going to happen. I actually think that it's WWE book baiting us, and I do believe that Bayley's going to attack Sasha, and we are going to prolong the match. I have a feeling it's just an advertisement just to get viewers on SmackDown for the draft, which WWE always fucking does. I don't agree with it, but I don't think it's happening. So I'm telling you that simply because of the fact that you're leaving at 2:30, you can't stay for the SmackDown portion of the review. So, Monday Night Raw, we started off with Ric Flair. You know, the guy whose wife had COVID, but they didn't keep him at home. We had the big slow. We had Christian. We had HB Shizzle. So they all came out. Shawn Michaels introduced Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre came out. He talked about being on the road with the Big Show and Christian. He talked about Shawn Michaels and Shawn's mentorship in NXT when he was the NXT champion. He put over Flair, and he said that he's still the WWE champion. Shawn said he hopes Drew McIntyre doesn't mind what they did, and it was all Flair's idea. So Orton came up on the screen, and he said this isn't over until he says it is. He says he's going to get another match because he's Randy Orton. So Randy Orton dropping some truth there. Doesn't matter how many times Orton loses. He's going to get another WWE title match because he's Randy Orton. He says that he's going to show Drew McIntyre the purest form of hell that he's ever been in. And he's going to show everyone that there is a price to pay when you cross the legend killer. Then he took his belongings and exited the building. Drew McIntyre says he has no issue with the legends helping him. And he says that he wants to issue an open challenge to anyone who he hasn't faced for the WWE Championship. He said, somebody please step up. And that was the opening segment for Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre is doing some excellent work as the WWE Champion. Drew McIntyre is doing some of the best work of his career. It is an indisputable fact right there. But I don't understand why you needed to institute the legends into the Clash of Champions match. And the only reason why that they did that is for ratings. The only reason why the legends were on Monday Night Raw here is for ratings. And they boosted the ratings by 200,000 people. Oh my God, you're going to get a nice little golf clap right there, WWE. 200,000 people came back for Ric Flair and the Big Slow and Christian and HB Shizzle. Good job. Legends were merely there for ratings. I love Drew McIntyre, and I love what he's been doing, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, Drew McIntyre should not be losing the WWE title anytime soon. But I just can't bring myself to care. I really can't. Now, I'm thinking about why they're doing what they're doing, and what I can conclude is that they're continuing this feud between Orton and McIntyre, even though it shouldn't be continuing. McIntyre beat Orton twice, but Orton's going to get another WWE Championship match anyway. The reason why they're continuing this feud is because of two reasons. One of two reasons. The first reason is either because of the fact that they have nobody else. Simply because of the fact that they have no one else for McIntyre, and they need a WWE Championship match for Hell in a Cell. Or the fact that they are pretty much biding time for Randy Orton until Edge comes back. Now that's the first reason. The second reason could possibly be the fact that they're having second thoughts of actually giving Randy Orton the WWE Championship because they don't want to invest in the program with Edge because Edge could very well be injury prone, and they don't want to put the title on a 45-year-old Edge and have him beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania. No matter if it would be a good story or not, because you're really not going to invest in a WWE Championship match with Edge and Randy Orton if Edge is injury prone. Now, those are the two reasons why I can see the feud continuing. And I can see two endings happening at Hell in a Cell. Number one, Randy Orton is going to win the WWE Championship, to which I'm going to say, why didn't you just fucking give him the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and you would have saved us this 3-month-long fucking headache of a feud with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, which has been completely run into the fucking ground. That's number one. Randy Orton could win the WWE Championship. Number two. Now, this is a little bit of a stretch, but it's a possibility. Anything is possible. Notice how all the legends that Randy Orton punted over the summer came back to exact their revenge on him, all except one, and that's Edge. Now, I don't know if this is going to happen. I'm not sure if Edge is medically cleared. I would assume that he's close. I mean, he did tease that, oh, it's really not going too well. It's kind of touch and go for the Royal Rumble. Those are the reports circulating social media, but then again, you have to remember that Edge said he wasn't going to be at the Rumble, and he ended up returning at the Rumble anyway, so Edge could be bullshitting us. It's been 4 months, going on 5 months next month, so I have a feeling that Edge could very well be medically cleared to compete, and Edge could cost Randy Orton the Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship, thus setting up the final match between him and Orton at Survivor Series, because they need a big match at Survivor Series. And then obviously, then you could build up Edge for Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble, and you can get a big marquee match there. And that would definitely enhance Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship title reign. That's what I can see happening as far as this Drew McIntyre-Randy Orton feud goes. I'm just looking for it to be over, to be quite honest, because they've run it into the fucking ground. The match at Clash of Champions was completely overbooked, and it took all the steam away from it. Speaking of Clash of Champions, we got a fucking rematch from Clash of Champions with Zelina Vega and Asuka. Raw Women's Championship. Same shit that we got at Clash of Champions. Literally nothing different. Literally nothing different. So, Asuka caught Vega with a kick going into commercial. Asuka with a sliding knee for a 2. Vega continued to wrench on the arm. Asuka countered with a suplex. Backstab her, but Asuka got her foot on the top rope. Or the bottom rope, rather. I'm not sure why I said the top rope. Vega went up to the top rope for a moonsault. Asuka got the knees up, transitioned into the Asuka lock for the win, and that was it. Didn't need to happen. Same shit at Clash of Champions. Rinse and repeat. Nothing that we've already seen. Nothing that we haven't already seen, excuse me. The thing that I'm wondering now is who the fuck you have left for Asuka. You've pretty much ran through all of the women's division that is free to face off against Asuka within a month. Mickie James and Zelina Vega were pretty much your only other options for Asuka. Unless you're gonna fucking do Natalya, and in that case, hand me a fucking pillow. At this rate, they're gonna have to put the women's tag team titles on Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, and you're gonna have to do Shayna Baszler. I'm still wondering why Asuka even lost the Raw Women's Championship to Sasha Banks, only to lose it right back to her. I'm still wondering why they did that. I'm wondering why you couldn't have just had Asuka retain over Sasha Banks, and you couldn't have continued Asuka's reign into the fall, and then you could have had Shayna Baszler win the championship instead of pairing Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax to win the women's tag team titles. But of course, Vince McMahon is only going to give Shayna Baszler a tag team championship reign because Nia Jax is there, and Nia Jax is related to The Rock. Like I've said, the women's tag team titles are nothing more than placeholder championships for women who are going to be paired with favorites, in Vince McMahon's pockets at least, and they're only going to win a tag team title, like Kyrie, like Nikki, like Shayna, Liv, and Ruby. That's their ceiling. Their ceiling is going to be the tag team championships. Outside of that, they will never be a champion in the WWE as long as Vince McMahon's alive. The only way that Nikki Cross is going to be a champion is if she's tag teaming with Alexa Bliss. The only way that Shayna Baszler is going to be a champion is if she's tag teaming with Nia Jax. The only reason that Kairi Sane was ever a champion is because she tag teamed with Asuka. Plain and simple. You're going to have to give the titles to Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott and/or just fucking retire the titles. Just retire the fucking titles. And then give the Raw Women's title to Shayna Baszler and build up Bianca Belair for Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania 37. Moving on. Keenan! Carmella looks like a drag queen. Oh my God. Keenan. Keenan. I fucking love you, Keenan. I fucking love you, Keenan. You'll give me a shot. You'll give me a shot. Well, thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Oh my God. Carmella is a drag queen. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Dude, I'm telling you right now. Where have you been? Where have you been, Keenan? Anyway, moving on. I needed that laugh, actually, because I've been pissed. This show's pissing me off, I'm telling you. Anyway, so Andrade was in the ring. He says to Vega that she's nothing without him. She lost to Asuka twice. He was holding the team with Garza together. And he says, who wants to face me? And Keith Lee answered the challenge. Keith Lee answered the challenge. 3 minutes. This match was 3 minutes, and Andrade was buried by Keith Lee in 3 minutes. So you build up Keith Lee by burying Andrade. Good job. Good job. I'm telling you right now, Zelina Vega, let me tell you something about Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega right now, her value is as a manager. Her value is as a manager, and whether you want to admit it or not, she is not going anywhere as an in-ring competitor. Simply because of the fact that she does not look like what Vince McMahon wants in a women's wrestler. She is not blonde. She doesn't have big tits. She doesn't have blue eyes. She looks like a Victoria's Secret model, but she's not a white blonde with big tits. So, of course, Vince McMahon is not going to have any investment in her like he did Alexa Bliss for all those years. At this rate, Zelina Vega's time in WWE is limited. She's going to waste away in catering, and then when her contract is up, she's either going to ask for her release or WWE is going to release her herself. She's not going to be used. If it's not a managerial role, Vega will not succeed. Vega's time in the ring is up. Vega is not a good wrestler. She is the Spanish Alexa Bliss. Andrade, and I have a bad feeling that Andrade, I have a feeling that Andrade is following suit. I have a feeling that Andrade will follow suit, and Andrade is going to follow the exact same path as Zelina Vega. Thanks to fucking Bruce Pritchard. Splitting up Andrade and Zelina Vega. You finally did it. Finally, you did it. So R-Truth was in the back. Now here's some right here. This is something that y'all gotta listen to right here. R-Truth was in the back. He was playing chess with Little Jimmy. A ninja came up with Tozawa's will. So the will read that if R-Truth was reading this, he was eaten by a shark. He was eaten by a shark. He said that his ninja skills would make my sensei Kung Funaki proud. So as soon as he said that, listen to this. As soon as he said that, I knew that someone was watching the Lightning Flash update from last week. Because it is not a coincidence that on the Lightning Flash update last week, I mentioned Kung Funaki. It is not a coincidence that last week on the Lightning Flash update, I compared Akira Tozawa to Kung Funaki 2.0, and then 2 days later, here they are mentioning Kung Funaki in relation to Akira Tozawa on WWE television. Where's my fucking payday? Someone's watching. Someone is watching me. So the ninja then awarded Truth Tozawa's black belt. Tozawa then rolled up R-Truth to win the 24/7 title. The ninja hit Tozawa with the briefcase. He won the title, unmasked to be Drew Gulak. unmasked to be Drew Gulak. Truth took advantage and won the title again, leading up to a triple threat match for the 24/7 title later on in the night. Drew Gulak, less than 3 months ago, was challenging AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title. Now here he is on Monday Night Raw, fighting over the 24/7 title. Was there a trade or did I miss it? WWE fucking logic there. This show sucks. King's Court. The King's Court with the Mysterio family. So Rey Mysterio, he said that Seth Rollins can't control his own house, so he's trying to disrupt his. So Jerry Lawler, he brought up Rey Mysterio's comment about Aaliyah. Aaliyah said she doesn't know what to think. She's still upset about what was said last week, but she said that Seth Rollins is a fraud, and she said that Rollins is a bad person. So Rollins came up on the screen, and he says, someone isn't being 100% honest with the family. So he calls out Aaliyah for not being honest, and Rollins revealed text messages between Aaliyah and Murphy. Murphy actually left his phone on one of the production crates when Rollins told him to go put on a suit before they were going to go celebrate. So obviously Rollins caught wind of this, and he revealed text messages between Aaliyah and Murphy, and then Aaliyah walked off after she said he's not like Seth. So Murphy then came back, and he was all pissed at Seth. He held Seth by his collar. Seth Rollins is laughing, and then out of nowhere, Dominic comes in and blindsides Buddy Murphy, and the officials then pull them apart, thus leading to a match later on in the night. I'm really just fucking sick and tired of this all. I don't understand why you are still including Rey Mysterio and the Mysterio family in this. Unless this is a way to get one more match between Rollins and Rey Mysterio, possibly at Hell in a Cell. They're literally just holding out for Rey Mysterio to come back. So that way, we will see the final match between Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. When in reality, it's not fucking necessary. It really isn't necessary. It should have ended at Payback. Should have fucking ended at Payback. Here's the problem here. The problem now is the simple fact that you're now trying to use Aaliyah to continue this rivalry with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, when in reality, the main storyline should be between Rollins and Murphy. And if this is a way to spark up the feud between Rollins and Murphy, it's a fucking shit way to do so. Why do we need Aaliyah to act as the spark to spark up the feud between Rollins and Murphy? Murphy has every fucking reason to turn on Rollins because of all of the verbal and physical abuse that Seth Rollins has been putting on Buddy Murphy over the course of the last month. Holding him accountable for their loss at Payback. Slapping him in the back. Holding him up by his throat and his collar. Smashing him in the face with a cage door. Saying that you're a screw-up. I'm not going to be held accountable for your mistakes. That is all the reasoning that Buddy Murphy has to turn on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is going to be fucking gone in about a month and a half because he needs to care for his wife and his newborn child. His wife is due in December. Why not use Seth Rollins to put over a new star, because you need fucking stars on Monday Night Raw? Use Seth Rollins to put over Buddy Murphy. Use Seth Rollins to get Buddy Murphy over as a babyface, and then put Buddy Murphy against Bobby Lashley and have him beat Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. It's not that fucking hard. Get the Mysterios away from Seth Rollins. Have Rey and Dominic do their own thing in the tag team division, especially since Monday Night Raw is sorely fucking lacking in tag teams. Both fucking brands. Even NXT's lacking in tag teams. Lana and Natalya came out next. Lana and Natalya. So Natty said that they'll stand out here all night until Nia and Shayna are stripped of the titles. Thank God they didn't stand out there all night. So Lana was then interrupted by Adam Pearce. Never thought I'd be so happy to see Adam Pearce. He interrupted fucking Lana. He said he can give them a match against the newest members of the Raw Women's Division. So Mandy Rose came out. I understood that. And then Dana Brooke followed suit. Did I pay attention to this? No. Punt knee strike for the win for Rose and Brooke. Mandy Rose went from the best women's feud all year with Sonya Deville, and now she's on Monday Night Raw teaming with Dana Brooke. I'm wondering why Dana Brooke wasn't fired on Black Wednesday. Why wasn't Mandy Rose put against Bayley? Why do we need to get another match between Bayley and Nikki Cross? Maybe, just maybe, we would have gotten the match between Mandy Rose and Bayley. That would have made sense because Mandy Rose was riding high on a wave of momentum from beating Sonya Deville at SummerSlam. Maybe we would have actually gotten a SmackDown Live Women's Championship match on the show, and we wouldn't have had to worry about fucking Asuka coming out to challenge Bayley for the umpteenth fucking time this summer. I'm probably gonna have to go refill this shit. Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black. Well, first off, what the fuck did they do to his theme song? What the fuck did he do to his theme song? I'm waiting for Aleister Black to come out, and then I hear this, what was it? This Ultimate Fighter type shit voice. You like to know his name. His name is Aleister Black. Where the fuck did this come from? And don't even give me the bullshit that it's a CFO thing. It's not. It's not. Bobby Roode came out to a CFO theme song. Drew McIntyre came out to a CFO theme song. Sami Zayn's theme song is a CFO theme song. Matt Riddle's theme song is a CFO theme song. Kevin Owens' theme song is a fucking CFO theme song. It ain't CFO and WWE's problem or departure with CFO. It's WWE changing what doesn't need to be changed. Aleister Black, he should be positioned to take the WWE Championship off of Drew McIntyre next year at WrestleMania. Instead, here he is wrestling with leather pants, and eye covering, new theme music that wasn't needed, and now he's wrestling with some unnatural fake anger towards Kevin Owens. And you could sense the fake in this anger, and I hate using that word, but you can sense how fake this anger is from Aleister Black. You can sense how fake it is and how forced this anger upon Kevin Owens is from Aleister Black. Blaming Kevin Owens for his eye getting punctured by Rollins and Murphy. Meanwhile, you came out to bat for Rey Mysterio, but you're not blaming Mysterio, you're not blaming Dominic, you're not blaming Humberto, you're not blaming Murphy, you're not blaming Rollins and his control over Murphy. No, let's blame Kevin Owens. And don't even fucking get me started on the fact that Aleister Black literally beat everyone. He beat everyone on the fucking roster. He beat Cesaro. He beat Eric Young. He beat Eric Rowan. He beat Akira Tozawa. He beat Shelton Benjamin. He beat Sami Zayn. He beat Buddy Murphy. He beat Seth Rollins. He beat Austin Theory. He beat AJ Styles. He beat everybody. And this guy got nothing. That is one of the biggest fucking sins that I think I've ever seen WWE ever commit this year. And they committed a lot of fucking sins this year in terms of pro wrestling. But my God, how this guy literally beat it. How you beat Rollins and Styles in the same year and you are rewarded with nothing. You are rewarded with nothing. How you beat Rollins and Styles in the same year and you are rewarded with no U.S. title opportunity, no Intercontinental title opportunity, no WWE Championship opportunity. The fact that they didn't give him Money in the Bank and you fucking gave it to Otis, you fucking gave it to Otis. I'm good. Seriously, we got Otis. We got Otis and Miz and Morrison feuding. We got, hey, ho, ho. Otis has got to go. Take the weights. Yeah, Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank, but not Aleister Black. How does that make any fucking sense? So Black, fast forward to the end of this match, Black was punching Kevin Owens, and he accidentally struck the referee, which caused the DQ, and then he hit Black, or Owens did hit Black with a stunner afterwards. So, apparently this feud's not over, and to be quite honest, I really don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. To be quite honest, I wish it was over. Thing is that these guys, this match is a WrestleMania main event worthy match. This match is a WrestleMania main event worthy match, and I don't give a shit. How fucking ridiculous is that you take Kevin Owens and Aleister Black, you put them in the ring, and I don't give a shit. Goes to show you that WWE literally kills everyone. I'll check the chat in just a little bit. I'm trying to collect myself here. R-Truth versus Drew Gulak versus Akira Tozawa. 24/7 championship. We had R-Truth hitting the attitude adjustment on Gulak on top of Tozawa. I don't know why I'm fucking thinking about Cesaro. I'm going to talk about Cesaro later, but AA on Gulak on Tozawa. And that was it. Did I give a shit? No. Dominic Mysterio versus Murphy. How many fucking times have we seen this? So Murphy sent Dominic over the announce table. Fast-paced action right from the start. Big V trigger by Murphy. I fucking love Murphy's V-trigger. So we had a big swinging DDT on Murphy by Dominic. Dominic then grabbed a kendo stick. Aaliyah then came out. She tried to reason with Dominic. Murphy then rolled up Dominic for the win. And then Dominic already attacked Murphy with the kendo stick. Aaliyah and Dominic went back and forth. Dominic said that Dad was right. You are naive. And then Aaliyah slapped Dominic and walked off. Same shit that I said a little while ago. Why are you using Aaliyah to build up the feud between Rollins and Murphy? And if you're not building a feud between Rollins and Murphy, why are you using that to continue the Rey Mysterio-Seth Rollins angle? This has been going on since May. Just end it. Just fucking end it already. We don't need a final match between Rollins and Mysterio. Focus on Rollins and Murphy. Build up a new fucking star. The Hurt Business versus Apollo Crews, Ricochet, and Mustafa Ali. Hey, Mustafa Ali's been found again. MVP took the mic. He said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Oh, so you described Vince McMahon down to a T. He does the same shit over and over again and he expects a different result. Said that Apollo keeps making the same mistake over and over again, and every time you step to the Hurt Business, you're going to get dropped. So, We had a big brawl breakout in the beginning between all 6 men. So the lights started flickering on and off, and then Retribution's logos came up on the Thunderdome screen. You know, the group of unpredictable vigilantes that aren't really so unpredictable, that have their own logo, and now they have their own WWE contracts, and pretty soon they're going to have their own t-shirt, right? But they want to destroy the system. So match begins coming back from commercial. Ricochet came in, trying to shut down MVP. Mustafa Ali got the tag. Ali got dropped by Lashley. We had a moonsault by Cruz, and then Ricochet took out Benjamin with a plancha. 450 by Ali for the win, and that was that. Mustafa Ali got a win. What does this mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means he's going to be fed to Bobby Lashley. You really expect me to have any faith in them that they're going to actually invest their time in Mustafa Ali? Mustafa Ali has had 4 live appearances on WWE television all year. We are sitting on October 3rd. We are less than 3 months away from the end of 2020 and the start of 2021, and Mustafa Ali has only had 4 appearances. 4 live appearances. But yet you want me to have faith that they're going to push Ali? No. Mustafa Ali is seen as nothing more than a chew toy by WWE television. A chew toy for the hungry pit bull known as Bobby Lashley. Dead. We had a Bianca Belair promo. A little vignette of her racing a couple of bums. 6 months too late, but now you want to do hype up vignettes. Oh my God, it's worse, Danielle. Oh, it's worse. So Drew McIntyre, he comes out for his open challenge. So Ziggler comes out. He was talking to Adam Pearce earlier, and he says that this is going to be special. And he brings out Robert Roode. This was actually the best thing on the show. I'm not even going to lie. This match went about like 13, 14 minutes. It's a very good TV match for what it was. Roode and Drew McIntyre work very well together. Roode looks great. He's got the quarantine hair going. Happy to see Roode back. Is he going to factor into anything major? No. Was this a very good match for the time it was given? Yeah. And that's pretty much that. We got a decent match, but ultimately nothing that we're going to be talking about within the next few days. It was completely forgotten about by the time everyone went to work with their masks the next morning on Tuesday. So Drew was in control. He had a big reverse Alabama slam on the apron. Drew was caught in the tree of woe coming back from commercial with a big belly-to-belly superplex. Drew then pulled Ziggler into the ring. Roode took advantage and he targeted the left leg. We had a big shin breaker on the table by Roode. Big diving clothesline for a 2. Roode then applied the figure 4 on Drew McIntyre. And Drew reversed the pressure. We had a big Glasgow kiss. You had Joe. Joe said, "Give us a kiss." Of course, I love when Samoa Joe hypes up Drew McIntyre. So Drew mounted a comeback, big kip up, but the knee bothered him. Roode caught Drew McIntyre with a beautiful spine buster for a 2. Big future shock DDT by McIntyre for a 2. Ziggler saved Roode from a big boot. Roode countered with the glorious DDT, but Drew was able to kick out. Drew then reversed the glorious DDT and hit the Claymore. Beautiful flush Claymore for the 1, 2, 3. Very, very good match for what it was. Really nothing too special, but it was very good. Roode and McIntyre worked very, very well together. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised that this was not a program coming back on the main roster from the days in NXT. I'm surprised that they didn't invest in the classic Bobby Roode. Remember when Bobby Roode was the best heel in all of WWE? Feels like fucking ages ago. So before the show ended, what's going on, House of Entertainment Inc.? Please hit that like button. So we had a hooded figure was shown walking towards the Legends Lounge because all throughout the night we were having a 3-hour game of fucking poker between the Big Show, Christian, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair. So we had a hooded figure show up at the Legends Lounge, and it was Randy Orton, looking like he came straight out of fucking Ghostbusters. He put on his night vision goggles, and he turned the lights off in the Legends Lounge, and he walked in with a chair. And the lights came back on, and everyone was beaten down. He walked out, put his hood back on, pointed towards the Legends Lounge as referees and officials darted to help the Legends, and that was that. That was how Raw went off the air. I understand, I really do. I understand what Orton was trying to do. I understand you wanted to make him the cunning, calculated heel that we all know that he is. But I just didn't give a shit. I just didn't give a shit because you have run the fucking feud into the ground. I just didn't care. I didn't. I'm sorry. I just didn't give a shit. I'm sorry. I just didn't give a shit. I understand what you were trying to do, but you have completely milked this feud dry to a point where I really don't care what they do. I'm just waiting for it to be over. Whether Orton wins the title or Drew McIntyre retains. That was Monday Night Raw. Terrible. AEW Dark. Moving on to AEW Dark. Really, nothing special here. A very, very, very lackluster AEW Dark. AEW Dark's really been nothing but enhancement matches, so we're going to skip through AEW Dark pretty quickly here before we get to Dynamite, and we'll talk about Dynamite. We will dissect Dynamite. So, AEW Dark started off with Rey Rosas versus Razin versus SCU. Shawn Spears was on commentary, obviously scouting Scorpio Sky, who had an altercation with Spears last week on Late Night Dynamite after that great match with Matt Sydal. So SCU, they won with SCU later. Typical showcase leading into their match with FTR for the Tag Team Championships. We then had Penelope Ford versus Alex Gracia, man. Hit me up. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that. Casey Catanzaro is my girl. Jessica, if you're still in the chat, Jessica, tell Casey to hit me up. My Skype is Dominic Sparacia. So, Penelope Ford won with the Fisherman Suplex. Pretty much a standard showcase for Penelope Ford, just keeping her in the eyes of everyone, making sure that they know that Penelope Ford's still here. Penelope Ford is still a vital factor in the women's division. Best Friends versus Mbadu and Bishop Kid. My man Mbadu and Bishop Kid. Strong Zero for the win. Obviously, I do believe that they are building up the Best Friends for a match with FTR at the Full Gear pay-per-view on November 7th. We had Jurassic Express versus 5 and 10. Not a bad match, but it really wasn't anything special. Nothing you're going to go back and rewatch. We had Jurassic Express mounting a general comeback. Luchasaurus came in. Jungle Boy was on the receiving end of a big spinebuster frog splash combination. Keenan, Jessica is actually Casey Catanzaro's sister. I've known her for about a little bit over 3 years now. No, Jessica's Casey Catanzaro's sister. I've known her for about 3 years now. She was with me ever since I started on Periscope live stream over 3 years ago. I'm pretty much like a celebrity in her house. So her and her husband watch me all the time. So I tell her every day, hey, tell Casey to hit me up. I mean, come on. No one can resist this. Just point it out there. So, We had a Spinebuster Frog Splash combination by 5 and 10 for a close 2 count there. Jurassic Express eventually won with the Extinction event, and that was that. We then had the Gun Club versus Shawn Dean and Cesar Bononi. Cesar Bononi, man. Former NXT superstar Cesar Bononi looks very, very impressive there. Austin, he took out Bononi. We had a Famouser by Billy on Shawn Dean for the win. I do believe that we are going to see the Gun Club eventually get a shot at FTR. Hey, Joseph, you have a great day at football practice. Be safe. Be safe. God bless you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. We had Tay Conchi versus Red Velvet. This actually wasn't a bad 5-minute match right here. Nothing special, but it really wasn't that bad. I actually like Red Velvet. Terrible name, but Red Velvet can actually wrestle. If you watch her closely, she's actually not bad in the ring. We had Tay Conchi on the receiving end of a beautiful leg lariat. I love Red Velvet's leg lariat. She actually delivers a very, very swift leg lariat. We had Conchi with the crucifix spinning side slam and then the modified Lotus Lock for the win. And that was pretty much that. Anna Jay came in and then dropped Velvet with a leg lariat before Brandy came out to save Red Velvet, and Jay was sent running. Obviously, they're still playing up the storyline of Tay Conchi possibly joining the Dark Order. Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. versus Luther and Serpentico. Luther's fucking terrible. Just want to point that out there. Luther is fucking terrible. But I actually enjoy watching Serpentico. We had a Meteor Spinebuster combo for the win. They're calling themselves the Chaos Project. And apparently they actually have a match with Jericho and Hager of the Inner Circle next week on Dynamite. So Jericho and Hager, they're continuing to be built up, possibly to take on FTR for the World Tag Team titles, which I really wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind that. We had Nyla Rose versus Rochelle Chanel. This match was garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. We had a Beast Bomb for the win. Nyla Rose, I do believe that Nyla Rose is going to be set up for a match with Hikaru Shida, and they are going to enhance Hikaru Shida's Women's World Championship title reign. Possibly at either the anniversary show or Full Gear is where I believe we will see that match. And the main event was the Natural Nightmares versus John Silver and Colt Cabana. Nothing too special here. This match went about 8 minutes. We had Colt Cabana getting taken out after a team disagreement between him and Silver. Dustin took out Cabana, and then we had the QT cutter on Silver for the win, and that was it. Nothing more than enhancement matches. I do hope that we will see an AEW Dark with actual storyline continuation, and that's pretty much that. They're actually not making him look like a dumbass because he really was cheated. He really was cheated out of the AEW World Championship, and I do believe that they are setting him up to eventually take the World Championship. Probably not now. We could very well see MJF and Moxley again at Full Gear. Maybe MJF interrupts. Maybe he interrupts the World Championship match on the anniversary show. And maybe we see a triple threat match between Archer, Moxley, and MJF wins the title there. Or we see MJF and Jericho. I definitely would love to see that match. I would fucking love to see that match. Maybe MJF takes the title off of maybe Hangman Page. Maybe Omega's going to win this tournament. Omega's the one to beat Moxley. And maybe we see Omega and Page for the AEW World Championship down the line. You never fucking know. Never fucking know. Speaking of AEW Dynamite, we're actually going to get into AEW Dynamite right now. And I know that Danielle is back to fucking lurking. Like the lurker that she is. So, AEW Dynamite. If you did not watch it, I would strongly suggest you go back and watch it. Great show. Excellent, excellent, excellent show. We started off with Ricky Starks and Darby Allin We had Darby coming out of the gate strong with a beautiful snap suplex to Starks on the apron, followed up by a big suicide dive. Love Darby Allin's suicide dive. We had Brian Cage coming out to distract Darby, but Will Hobbs came out to take the fight to Brian Cage. Starks then took advantage and wore down Darby Allin. Darby came back with a beautiful fucking code red. Darby Allin has probably the best code red in all of wrestling right now. We then had some back and forth strikes, beautiful strikes back and forth between Darby Allin and Ricky Starks. Beautiful over-the-top stunner. Darby Allin went for a springboard off the middle rope, and we had a beautiful spear. Love Ricky Starks' spear. Beautiful spear. Probably the best mid-air spear that I've seen in a while. Cutting Darby in half, but Darby was able to kick out. Ricky Starks, he was going up to the top rope looking for the Avalanche Rochambeau, but Darby Allin got himself out of that predicament, and then he hit a coffin drop to the back of Ricky Starks for the 1, 2, 3. Went about 12 minutes. Very, very, very good match right here. I'm actually wondering why this match wasn't on All Out. Why did we need to get the Casino Battle Royal? Because if MJF was going to lose to Moxley, and Lance Archer, he was on like an 8-9 match winning streak. So if MJF would have lost, then Lance Archer would have moved up to the #1 position anyway. So we realistically didn't need to win the Casino Battle Royal. We didn't need the Casino Battle Royal at All Out, period. It would have made much more sense if we had this match between Darby Allin and Ricky Starks. This would have made the show a little bit better, even though it wasn't necessarily a bad show. But all in all, this match should have been on the show, period. If MJF was going to lose to Moxley, Archer would have moved into the #1 spot anyway. So, the match itself was very, very good. Excellent start to Dynamite. And Darby Allin needed a much-needed win. These two are the future. These two shine bright. All I can say about that, excellent, excellent, excellent stuff here from both men. And Darby Allin, his stock continues to rise. He's going to do some great things. He will. Cody came out. He said he was going to answer Brody Lee's challenge for the dog collar match for the TNT Championship. He says that the reason we shake hands is not because of respect, it's because that we need each other. Imagine the shame of losing the TNT Championship in 3 minutes and then getting that call from Hollywood. He says that he's not the ace because he's not a champion. And he says his answer for the dog collar match is no. He was walking up the ramp, but he stopped. And he walked back. And he said no, as in no regrets. We entered different than we came in. Next week, TNT Championship match, dog collar match, I accept. Brody Lee then came out and we had a big fucking brawl. Everyone needed to come in and break them up. Brandy came out. She was getting in her own offense on the Dark Order, trying to get her shots at Anna Jay. Pure fucking chaos. And that was pretty much that. Excellent fucking promo by Cody. Excellent, excellent promo by Cody. Cody is undoubtedly the best babyface promo in all of pro wrestling right now, and it's not even close. Tony Schiavone was in the back. He was interviewing FTR before their matchup against SCU, the 20-minute brush with greatness for the tag team titles. He mentioned the Young Bucks, and he said, what about the Young Bucks? So FTR was talking about how the Young Bucks constantly blew their chances at championship opportunities. Matt Jackson came out of nowhere, randomly super kicked Tony Schiavone, and that was pretty much that. I fucking love what the Young Bucks are doing. Young Bucks are doing some of the best shit that I've seen them do in a long, long time. People are jealous, Leo. That's why they're giving me thumbs down. Don't worry. Don't worry. They got nothing on the Stormsmeister. Remember that. Remember that, brother. Remember that. So, after that, we had FTR versus SCU, AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was another excellent fucking tag team match. Absolutely great. 20-minute brush with greatness. Hangman Page was on commentary. Obviously teasing another match with FTR. But man, this was a fucking great tag team match. Loved every minute of it. We had Sky with a beautiful Tope Con Hero. Sky is probably one of the best Tope Con Heroes that I think I've seen. Probably next to Cedric Alexander. We had FTR taking over control going into commercial. Sky made the hot tag to Kazarian. He picked up the pace. Flipped Cash onto Dax. Nice fisherman suplex on Cash for a 2. We had double cutters on FTR. Slingshot cutter and a over-the-top rope cutter. Close 2 counts right there. Sky nearly got the win. We had a big powerbomb dragon suplex combo on Kazarian, but Kazarian still stayed alive. Match continued. We had roll-up after roll-up by Sky. Cash then reversed a suplex on Sky, and Tully held Sky's feet down, and FTR retains the AEW World Tag Team Championships in an excellent fucking tag team match. Can't wait to see what they do next week. We actually got FTR versus the Hybrid 2 for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. That right there is going to be something to behold. You always got to keep it real, Danielle. You always got to keep it real. We had an 8-man tournament get announced on commentary. The finals will be at Full Gear, and the winner will receive an AEW World Title match. The first 3 participants are Rey Fenix, Jungle Boy, and Kenny Omega. This was obviously not to the delight of Adam Hangman Page. So obviously Hangman Page, he does have some problems with that. Should be very interesting as far as what transpires in the finals of the AEW World Tag Team Tournament. Or the World Championship #1 Contenders Tournament, excuse me. We then had Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy. Good match here. Good match. Nothing too special. Cassidy definitely got lots of shine here, but compared to what we are used to seeing with Chris Jericho matches, this was probably one of the weakest. I'm not saying it was bad, but it was still kind of on the weaker side. Still a very good match, though. Cassidy went right after Jericho. Cassidy with a beautiful tornillo on the inner circle after Luther and Jericho actually got into a altercation. Obviously, that set up next week's match with the Chaos Project and the inner circle. So Jericho took over control. We had a big springboard stunner on Cassidy, or by Cassidy, excuse me, for 2. Cassidy then hit a swift lion salt for 2. Cassidy actually has a very nice lion salt, I'm not going to lie. We had a code breaker by Cassidy. Very shocked right there. Code breaker by Cassidy. But Jericho still kicked out. Cassidy went for a springboard. And Jericho caught him with a brutal fucking Judas effect. And Jericho defeats Isaiah Cassidy. And that was that. Afterwards, we had a big brawl between the Chaos Project and Jericho and Hager, obviously setting up the match for next week. Jessica H., Danny's friend, how are you? I am DJ Storms. Please hit that like button when you come in. So, after that, we had Orange Cassidy taking on 10 of the Dark Order. Really nothing too special here. This is pretty much a 3-minute match. Orange Cassidy rebounding off of his loss against Brody Lee from last week. We had a beautiful modified End of Days by 10. I actually like that move by number 10. We had a nice spine buster by 10. He was in firm control. Cassidy with a big plancha onto the Dark Order. And we then had Orange Cassidy with the Tornado DDT on 10. And then the Orange Punch Air Raid Crash combination. And that was it. That was that. MJF was in the back, and he came bearing some gifts to the inner circle. So he brought out some jackets. but he said he didn't get Sammy one, and he said, "Oh my God, this is so embarrassing." So Sammy Guevara didn't get a jacket, and Jericho and MJF, they started going back and forth. "Oh, do you want me in the Inner Circle? I don't know. Do you want me to be in the Inner Circle?" Great fucking television. Great fucking television there. MJF congratulated Jericho on his 30-year anniversary, and Sammy was going to call him a loser. Sammy was going to call him a loser, but Jericho stopped him and said, "Oh, wait, perhaps he's not." So, obviously, they're teasing something there with Jericho in the Inner Circle. Should be interested to see what they do there. We had Britt Baker up next taking on Red Velvet. Red Velvet. I'm loving what Red Velvet's doing. She's doing some good stuff. This was a very nice showcase for Baker. Very nice butterfly suplex, nice sling blade, and a curb stomp by Britt Baker for the win. Britt Baker looks good. She looks very good, actually. I'm actually still wondering why we didn't have Britt Baker and Big Swole in a normal match at All Out. It would have been a hell of a lot better than what we actually got with the fucking tooth and nail match and that terrible fucking match. That terrible fucking produced match that we got. But Britt Baker looks good. Definitely a much needed addition to the AEW Women's Division, and I do believe that she will be the next AEW Women's Champion. So we then had the rundown for next week. We got Jericho and Hager versus the Chaos Project. We got Hobbs and Cage for the FTW Championship. And I actually do have to give AEW a little credit because Brian Cage really isn't factoring into any major championship complications right now. So I appreciate them giving him something to do with the FTW Championship, and you can't really blame him. You got to give him credit there. So we have a dog collar match for the TNT Championship also next week. So we got 2 title matches for next week. That should be an excellent lineup. So Eddie Kingston came out. He said he was going to break down everything for the simple-minded idiots. Fucking love Eddie Kingston. We had Kingston saying that he did not tap to Moxley, and he talked to Remsburg about stopping the match next week, and he said that when we are here, this is their job. We are at work, and it is my job to protect you from yourself. Moxley then came out with a barbed wire bat. Eddie Kingston said that you're going to be fighting the Butcher for the AEW World Championship. The Butcher came up behind Moxley, and the Butcher attacked Jon Moxley, and we get the actual match. Match really wasn't needed, if we're going to be quite honest with you. It really was not needed. I understand what they were trying to do. I understand why they were going to make Jon Moxley a fighting champion, shit like that. I understand. But all in all, it was really sloppy at times, and it felt just very predictable. But all in all, the Butcher didn't really look bad. The match wasn't bad at all. It was actually very good, but there's times for a championship match, and there's really times where you can just leave the champion off of television. And after the match with Eddie Kingston, it was probably the best possible route to keep Jon Moxley off of television. You recommend the match. Well, we're at the end of the AEW Dynamite review, so before we start the NXT review, me and you sure you want to go down that route? You sure? Me and you. All right, I'll take you up on that offer. See what you got. Come on down to Jersey. I'll make you famous. Don't worry, people. I love Danielle. I would not hurt her. Anyway, NXT. This was the go-home show for the NXT TakeOver 31 show. Obviously, that is taking place this Sunday, meaning tomorrow, on the WWE Network. So, the show wasn't necessarily bad. It's never a bad episode, but considering what they've done and the build-up towards the show, it really wasn't that special. You really could have skipped it. The two things that I will say that you should go back and rewatch are the two sit-down interviews. We had a sit-down interview between Isaiah Swerve Scott and Santos Escobar leading up to the Cruiserweight Championship match. And then we had a sit-down interview with Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. And both of those were excellent fucking segments. Other than that, it really wasn't a very eventful show. We had a couple decent matches here and there, but the sit-down interviews were the main meat and potatoes of NXT, if you know what I mean. So we had Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai starting off the show. So Kai, she actually got caught up with a nice drop kick. Big knee and a rolling elbow, plus a cannonball on the ropes by Shotzi Blackheart for a 2. Kai with a big scorpion kick, but Shotzi came back with a Shiranui on the apron. This was actually fucking scary right here. A Shiranui on the apron. Shiranui on the apron, and I'm not sure what was going on here, but she did not fucking get the full rotation. I swear to God, she fucking face planted the apron, landed right on her fucking neck. If you cannot execute that move safely, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. This was fucking scary, especially after we just had the fucking scare of Matt Hardy. We had the fucking scare of Matt Hardy and fucking we had the fucking scare of Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara at All Out. We don't need another one. We really don't need another one. Tell me about it, Keenan. Tell me about it. This was fucking scary, but thankfully she was okay. She was okay. She got back up. I don't know how the fuck she got back up. Raquel Gonzalez ended up tripping up Blackheart before Rhea came out to even the odds, and Shotzi ended up rolling up Dakota Kai for the win. Very, 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 very happy that Shotzi Blackheart got the win here, and I do hope that Shotzi Blackheart definitely gets a bit of a push later on. Decent match right here. Nothing too special, but I will say that they did a fairly decent job at building up Shotzi Blackheart, and I do hope that Shotzi continues to succeed in NXT. I do hope that we do see Shotzi Blackheart potentially on a takeover, fighting someone like a Candice LeRae or Rhea Ripley or Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. I think it would be very, very interesting to see a woman like her competing on a takeover. That's just me. If you want to come on my channel, Keenan, you definitely can. We can organize a session. So then after that, we go into a sit-down interview with Isaiah Swerve Scott and Santos Escobar. Now this was very, 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 very good. We had Scott reminding everyone that he is still the only man to have pinned Santos Escobar. And Escobar, this is something that I fucking love about Escobar. I'm not sure if you watch this closely, but Escobar, he's wearing this beautiful looking suit. And he's got like his cross out. He's got his cross out, and he's got his cross over his tie, and he's wearing fucking sunglasses, and he's smiling, and he's shaking his finger, and he's like, no. He's just acting like such a prick. He's acting like such an entitled douchebag. And that's what I fucking love about Santos Escobar. I fucking love the way that he carries himself. He carries himself like a complete douchebag. It's great. Just with his sunglasses, with a beautiful fucking beard. Beautiful fucking beard, by the way. I'm a little jealous. Shaking his finger like, no. So, Escobar smiling like a prick, waving his finger, and Escobar said, "Don't make me laugh." He goes, "You're a parasite that I just can't get rid of." Escobar promises to Swerve that his match will be fair. Swerve said, "Oh, really? Because there's always something going on with you. Whether it be a shaky mask that you need to hide under the ring and use when the going gets tough, or you have Legado del Fantasma." Swerve said that no matter what happens, he will be ready He will be ready for Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar says, you know, you can claim this, you can claim that, but ultimately, when it comes time to really showcase what you're all about, when it comes to a showcase on the big stage, you just can't deliver. So Swerve says that he's ready to prove that Santos Escobar is nothing more than a fraud. Escobar says that Swerve has no respect for him or his culture, and he says that what you call a bag of tricks, I call a century of tradition, and I'm going to bury you with it. And Swerve says, I would love to see you try. This was fucking excellent. I would highly encourage you to go back and rewatch it. And the way that they have built up Swerve, I'm not sure if this was by design. And I said it on the rundown. I said it on the rundown with Matt Moody. I don't know if this was by design, but I have a feeling that the Cruiserweight Championship has just really just kind of been put on the back burner over the course of the entire summer, simply because of the fact that they wanted to counter-program All Elite Wrestling, and they wanted to push the main stars, and they didn't build up any new stars in the Cruiserweight division, so now you're stuck with Swerve and Santos. And they've told a very nice story. And I do believe it is Swerve's time, but Santos really hasn't had much of a reign with the Cruiserweight Championship, unless here's what I feel as though they might be doing. I have a feeling that, considering NXT UK is back up and running, I'm not sure if they have worked out the travel restrictions with the UK and the US, but Jordan Devlin is still the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. So I'm not sure if they could be planning this, but they could possibly have Swerve win the championship, and then we get Jordan Devlin coming back over to the States, and we could get a unification match to decide the undisputed Cruiserweight Champion, similar to what we got at Clash of Champions with Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles to decide who was the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. Definitely a possibility right there. I certainly wouldn't mind it. Very much looking forward to seeing what they do there. Excellent segment, and I'm actually very much looking forward to Swerve and Santos Escobar. That's going to be the match that I have my eye on. We had a prime target for Kyle O'Reilly, and he took us on a journey of his life, his career. Cole talked about their history, talked about the prophecy. Really a genuine feeling from Kyle O'Reilly, and I'm actually very, very happy that Kyle O'Reilly is getting this opportunity. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Kyle O'Reilly brings to the table at TakeOver. I'm very, very happy for Kyle O'Reilly. He doesn't really deserve it because they really haven't built him up. I mean, we had the unnecessary purge of NXT. On top of that, we had the ratings war and all this other bullshit. NXT should really just focus on themselves. And I think that this TakeOver, I do really think that this is going to be a step in the right direction. This will definitely be a step in the right direction towards helping rebrand NXT and repackage NXT in the light that we always know that NXT should be presented in, if you know what I mean. So from there we had TM's favorite superstar. TM's probably not watching this, but Cameron Grimes. So Cameron Grimes came out and he said that he ain't in a good mood. So he complains about the Gauntlet Eliminator. He says that, oh, that couldn't have been Mr. Regal's doing. So he announces the, let me see if I can do this. The Cameron Grimes Invitational Stepping Stones to the Moon match. So, oh my God, JoJo, where have you been? Hit that like button. She's in Minnesota right now. Very, very happy to see you in here. Please hit that like button whenever you get the chance, Miss JoJo. Or you were eating lunch. Oh, there's always an excuse now, isn't it? But anyway, so Cameron Grimes, he announced the Stepping Stones to the Moon Challenge. So he brought out a guy named Joey Pistachio. Yeah, I kid you not. His name was Joey Pistachio. So we had a cave-in immediately for the elimination. And then we had Ridge Holland coming out. He attacked Joey Strong. Grimes says, hey, look, I like you. You know, I'm a fan of your work, but you're not a part of this challenge. So Ridge Holland didn't give a shit. So he just started stomping away on Cameron Grimes. That caused the DQ. Grimes won, and that was pretty much that. And that's it. That was pretty much it. It really wasn't anything special. Really had a main roster vibe to it. So I did not like this whatsoever. Quite frankly, despised it. Not enough for me to rant, but you get the picture. Not JoJo Donahoe. She is a friend of mine for about 3 years now. She's not married to Bray Wyatt. Matter of fact, I think if she could, she would be getting married to me. Just saying. Anyway. So we had Kushida versus Tony Nese. Really nothing special here. We had a hoverboard lock. I mean, come on. I'm DJ Storms. You expect anything less? So we had a hoverboard lock for the win in 2 minutes. And then the Velveteen Dream, he came up on the screen. Says that the spotlight will be too much for Kushida. And the Dream will always shine. See you Sunday. And that was that. Very interested in seeing what Kushida and the Velveteen Dream do. I hope that we do get a very nice match between the two. And I do hope Kushida goes over. So then we had Adam Cole. In the ring. He came back from commercial. Adam Cole was in the ring. He says that the Undisputed Era has run NXT for 3 years. Says that the prophecy ended and people felt like the Undisputed Era changed. He said that nothing has changed. We are still the same Undisputed Era that we've always been. And then he called out Austin Theory, who was actually trash-talking Kyle O'Reilly earlier on in the show. Called out Austin Theory. And he says to meet him face-to-face. So Theory came out, and Cole said, you got 2 options. You can fight him like a man, or you can stay there, and you will get beaten down where you stand. So Theory obviously chose option 1, and we got a match. This was actually a damn good match right here. Probably the best match on the show. So the match begins. Cole kept the pressure on Theory, sending him into the steps. We had Theory with a roll-through dropkick on Cole. Nice standing moonsault by Austin Theory on Adam Cole for a 2. Cole with a very nice enziguri and a backstabber combo. Big Ushi-Garoshi. Theory came back with a beautiful torture rack Blue Thunder bomb for a 2. Theory then ran right into a brutal super kick, a second super kick, and then we had the knee drop brain buster and the last shot for the win. And that was that. Adam Cole defeats Austin Theory in a very, very, very good match right here. And he's very much advocating for Kyle O'Reilly. I'm not sure if that means that we're going to see a heel turn from Adam Cole, and we are going to see Kyle O'Reilly get kicked out of the UE. I hope not. But they have me intrigued. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do as far as that goes. So we then had Kaden Carter versus Xia Li. Casey Catanzaro, obviously this is a Casey Catanzaro friendly channel. Jessica, obviously, is still not in the chat. I'm not sure if she's lurking or not. I know Danielle's lurking. Danielle, I know, is definitely lurking here. But I'm not sure if Jessica's still lurking. I hope she is. But this is a Casey Catanzaro friendly chat right here. Of course you are. Where did Jess go? Where did Jess go? I need to get Jess a Skype, and I need to get in contact with her. So, we had a swift roll-up on Lee for the win by Carter. And apparently, yeah, now you're back to lurking mode. So, we had a swift roll-up on Lee by Kaden Carter for the win. Lee then shoved down Carter and Casey Catanzaro as she left. And that was it. Well, no. Not your friend, Jess. I'm talking about Casey Catanzaro's sister. Because she's been MIA for a while now. So, after that, we had the sit-down, face-to-face interview between Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly, which was fucking fantastic. If you guys did not see this, please go out. Go out and watch this. So, we had Shawn Michaels moderating. We had Shawn Michaels moderating the face-to-face confrontation. So obviously they shook hands. So Finn said that he has a mutual respect for Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly said, the feeling is mutual, Finn. Finn says that Kyle is one of the best in the world. Kyle says Finn Balor just loves to stroke his own ego. Says he loves to stroke his own ego. And Kyle says defeat is certain. And I'm telling you, Finn, this Sunday defeat will be certain. Finn says, are you going to show up like a man, or are you going to show up with your Undisputed Era boys? So Kyle says this non-existent power struggle with the UE is just laughable. Kyle says that he wants that fighting prince. Finn says the whoop is understanding the difference between a one-night main event and a life-altering main event match. Kyle says that he ain't the underdog. Matter of fact, he considers that theory bullshit. Kyle says this tag team specialist will do it again this Sunday. So Finn ends by saying, Kyle, you have everything it takes and you would be champion this Sunday if this title was on anyone but Finn Balor. Excellent fucking stuff. Makes me even more excited. Makes me even more excited to see the match between Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. Very much looking forward to seeing what they do. And in the main event, we had Damian Priest and Io Shirai versus Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. This was just some main roster-like shit. Didn't need to happen. I didn't give a shit. Candice LeRae low blow Damian Priest, and then we had one final beat. I don't understand why Damian Priest needed to take a loss. I don't understand why we needed a mixed tag team match. That was pretty much that. It wasn't a bad show, but it was just boring outside of the sit-down interviews, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And I do hope that NXT does regain that steam after we have the TakeOver 31 special. We'll see what happens, but as of right now, the spark's just gone. And I really hate saying, I really hate seeing that. Anyway, so moving on to NXT UK. I would say this was good. Good episode of NXT UK. I just really didn't give a shit for the British rounds matches. I mean, I understand the concept behind the British rounds matches, and I understand the appeal. It was fun here and there, but ultimately the British rounds matches, I'm just really not a fan of them. I didn't really care for it. It wasn't bad. I can appreciate that style, but there was just too many breaks, too many stop and starts. Really didn't need to happen. If you were going to do a tournament, I would have much rather have seen a regular one-on-one tournament, single elimination. No need for the British rounds rules. We'll talk about that later on, but the show actually started off with triple threat action here between Kenny Williams, Ashton Smith, and Amir Jordan. This was a Heritage Cup wildcard qualifying match. This was actually the best match of the entire show. We had Smith using his power early on here. We had a big powerbomb and a back elbow combination on Smith. Double team work from Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams. We then had a deep six blue thunder bomb. Probably probably one of the best move combinations I've seen. It started out as a deep six, and then Ashton Smith transitioned it into a blue thunder bomb. Fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Ashton Smith, very, very underrated in the ring. If you did not watch this match, please go on the WWE Network, look up NXT UK and watch this match. Very, very good stuff right here. So after that, we had Williams and Jordan going at it for a little bit. We had a Samoan driver on Smith, but Jordan with a swanton bomb right to the back of Ashton Smith, but Smith was still able to get the shoulder up. We had a big super kick on Amir Jordan. Jordan was fucking decapitated by this fucking super kick. And then Kenny Williams came out of nowhere. Beautiful satellite DDT. And Kenny Williams advances to fight Trent Seven in the UK Heritage Cup tournament match in the first round. Very, very, very much looking forward to seeing what happens right here. Awesome stuff right here from all three men. And I am very, 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 very happy for Kenny Williams. Glad that he's starting to get a showcase. I do hope that Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan continue to succeed. They are a very, very, very good tag team in NXT UK. We then had Xia Brookside versus Ginny. Nothing too crazy here. We had a modified STF. Looked very, very sloppy, if we're going to be quite honest here. Very, very sloppy looking modified STF for the win here. Ginny gets the win, so she took the microphone and she says she's played nice for far too long. She said you're going to witness a new side of Ginny, and you're going to witness the queen of NXT UK make history. So I'm guessing that possibly means that we're going to see Kaylee Ray versus Ginny for the NXT UK Women's Championship as a little bit of an interim match, because I do believe that Eva Valkyrie will eventually be the woman to take the title off of Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray actually has a State of the Union address next week. So I'm fucking loving what Kaylee Ray's doing. Kaylee Ray actually right now is probably the best women's heel outside of Shayna Baszler. She may be the best women's heel in all of WWE right now. I'm not even lying to you. Kaylee Ray may be the best women's heel in all of WWE right now. I fucking love the work that she's doing. Webster, Flash Morgan Webster versus A-Kid in the NXT UK Heritage Cup match is actually confirmed for next week. I would actually have A-Kid go all the way, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I would have A-Kid go all the way. I would fucking love to see A-Kid get the rub. I think he's great. Of course, I know you're still lurking, Danielle. See, that's your favorite thing to do with me. You always love to lurk on my videos. Look at this shit. I'm just down to ice. Hold on a minute. I am correct. I'm always right. I'm DJ Storms. I'm always right. So, we had the main event. We had Alexander Wolf and Noam Dar NXT UK Heritage Cup first round matchup with Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, as the special guest referee. It's definitely going to take some time for me to get used to. Here with the British rounds rules. So, the match, it wasn't bad, but again, I don't really like the stop and start and stop and start. I would like to believe that I'll probably get used to it as time goes on. But right now, it just felt off. I'm not sure if that was because it was two heels. We'll see what happens. But the first round was very, very standard, just jockeying for position, nothing too crazy. Dar used his quickness against Wolf, and Dar won the first fall in the second round. Wolf then got a cheap shot in on Dar at the end of the third round. No one scored a fall in the third round. We then had a beautiful punt kick German suplex combination by Alexander Wolf in the fourth round, and Alexander Wolf tied up the score. Then afterwards, we had Noam Dar trying for a roll-up with a grip on the ropes in the 5th round, but Dunn kicked Dar's hand off the ropes. Noam Dar was in the corner recovering. We then had Pete Dunne trying to check on Alexander Wolf, and out of nowhere we fucking had Alexander Wolf on the receiving end of a Nova Roller, and Noam Dar advances. I would say right call here. I'm glad that Noam Dar is getting a rub. I think Noam Dar is very, 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 very underrated. And afterwards, we then had Wolf trying to place the blame on Pete Dunne, blah, blah, blah. Walter then came out, and Walter stepped into the ring, and then we had Wolf and Walter trying to lay out Dunne before Ilya Dragunov came out to save Pete Dunne. And Dunne and Dragunov stood tall to end this week's NXT UK. Cross Devil Keenan, I hope you stay safe. I hope everything is well. Please be safe. Please be safe. Thoughts and prayers go out to you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. So, it's really going to take some time for me to get used to the British Rounds rules. Right now, I'm just really not feeling it. I hope that Webster and A-Kid could change my mind, because those two are two great fucking wrestlers altogether. They are two great fucking wrestlers altogether, and I would definitely love to see them put on a great British Rounds match. As far as Wolf and Noam Dar goes, it was I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't really feel as though British Rounds matches really fit the mold of this this era in WWE, if you know what I mean. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but all in all, good episode. Good episode of NXT UK. I just didn't really care too much for the British Rounds rules, but I am very much invested in what they're doing in NXT UK, much more than I am with NXT. It's kind of sad, but I'm actually glad that NXT UK is really picking up where they left off, because NXT UK is great. NXT UK is fucking great. Very, very underrated. NXT UK is very, very, very underappreciated. If you're not watching NXT UK, please go out of your way to watch NXT UK. We got some great shit. You gotta love Ilya Dragunov. You gotta love Walter. Please, 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 please go out of your way to watch it. Moving on to the last show, and then we can all get out of here. I know you've been sticking with me for a while now. I greatly appreciate you sticking with me, and I know you want to get out of here. You got a lot of shit to do. Saturday, you want to relax. I'm going to my grandma's for some dinner, and I cannot wait for it because I'm fucking starving. I'm absolutely fucking starving. I hope we get some nice chicken, maybe some filet mignon, maybe some pasta, some nice Alfredo sauce pasta. Am I making you hungry yet? Anyway, SmackDown. It wasn't a good show. It really wasn't a good show, because SmackDown really has not had a very good show in a long, long time. It wasn't necessarily a good show. It wasn't anything overbearing. It certainly wasn't special. It certainly wasn't great. It certainly wasn't something I'm going to rewatch again, but I'm not going to lie, it really wasn't that horrible. Certainly was a lot more easier to digest than Monday Night Raw, and it certainly has a lot more shit worth investing your time in as far as storyline progression goes than Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw right now, it's the lowest that I think I've ever seen it in, and they deserve a low fucking rating. They deserve the low fucking ratings that they get. But SmackDown, they actually have some pretty decent material. We actually started off with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Heyman says that he's nervous, but he's going to set this stage with respect. Roman then motioned like, no. Give me the mic. So Roman takes the mic and he says, everything was fine. I was trying to help out my cousin and give him a big payday, but he wouldn't acknowledge me as the tribal chief. His brother his brother acknowledged me, but he didn't. So he invites Jey Uso to come out. Don't worry, Keenan, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about that. So he invited Jey Uso to come out. So Jey Uso comes out. He stood face to face with Roman, and he says, I don't know you. You're supposed to be my cousin. You're supposed to be my blood. You may have beaten my ass, but you haven't beaten my spirit. So Roman says, you think I'm proud of what I did? Clash Champions was the worst night of my career, the worst night of my life, both professionally and personally. Roman said he was trying to help Jey, and he wanted to put him in the main event to get that big payday for his wife and his kids. And all he had to do was acknowledge him as the tribal chief. But you disrespected me. You disrespected the family. You embarrassed me, and you embarrassed the family. And then he goes, look at me, Uso. You can't even look at me straight. You're looking at this. Obviously pointing to the Universal Championship. Is this what you want? Is this all that matters? You know what? Fine. You can have it. What do you want? It at Hell in a Cell? You know what? You can have it. Fine. But I promise you that this match will have the highest stakes in WWE history. So then Roman hugs Jey. Very brotherly. Hugs Jey. He's like, I don't want to do this, but you're going to make me do this. And then he walks out. He walks out. So as he's walking up the ramp, Jey said, you know what, Uso, don't matter what happens, whatever the stipulation may be, I accept. So Jey accepts the challenge. And then we had AJ Styles come out. AJ Styles says, does it really matter who has the most chicken bones or who sits at the head of the table? He says that, why don't you let someone more deserving go after the title? Maybe like him. Styles says, you know what? We already know that your brother Jimmy's the better athlete anyway. So then Styles was then taken down by Jey. And then Jey then did a huge plancha off the announce table, taking out Styles going into commercial. And then we get a match between Jey Uso and AJ Styles. It was very good. Very good TV match for what it was. Went about like 12 minutes, I would say. Went about 12 minutes. We had Uso sending Styles to the floor. Styles then caught Uso with a very nice enziguri and a suplex onto the announce table. Styles then tried to cut Uso down to size before Uso came back with a beautiful pop-up Samoan drop. It's actually a very, very, very nice move right there from Jey Uso, I will say. We had a big suplex neck breaker for a 2. Styles was then caught with an enziguri and a suicide dive. Styles then got kicked off the ropes as he went for a phenomenal forearm. We had a big super kick and the Uso splash, and Jey Uso goes over AJ Styles. Now the promo with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman and Jey Uso was fucking excellent. Realistically speaking, Jey Uso does not deserve another Universal title match, nor should he get one. And it really does expose WWE for having little to no competition on SmackDown. But, I'm willing to give it a chance. I am. I'm willing to give it a chance, but I'm just thinking to myself, what are they really going to do at Hell in a Cell that they haven't already done at Clash of Champions, if you know what I mean? Like, the match at Clash of Champions was booked masterfully, one of the best booked matches of the year. But what are they really going to do? What are they going to bring to the table at Hell in a Cell that they haven't already done at Clash of Champions? I'm giving this a chance. The promo was excellent, and the storyline's been excellent. I love the way that they're booking this. The match itself with Uso and Styles was very good. Styles losing to Jey Uso, I really can't get behind that. But more likely than not, this was AJ Styles' send-off, and he's going to be going over to Monday Night Raw in the upcoming draft next week. But this was not a bad start. This was actually a very, very good start to SmackDown Live. Actually caught me off guard, and I'm actually glad that it caught me off guard. Hey, no worries, Danielle. Thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. I'm about to wrap it up. In just a little bit. You and Jeff have an awesome, awesome, awesome time. God bless you. So, we then had We then had John Morrison versus Otis. Always, Danielle. Always. I will promise. Promise you I will. John Morrison and Otis. John Morrison and Otis. We had a Caterpillar and a Vader bomb in 90 fucking seconds. 90 seconds. That's what Otis is. That's what John Morrison is. That's what WWE thinks of John Morrison. 90 seconds. Otis is probably one of the most wasteful, not one of, the most wasteful fucking Money in the Bank ladder match winner that I think I have ever seen in my 12 plus years of watching professional wrestling. I don't know why the fuck they even gave this man the Money in the Bank briefcase. John Morrison, 8 months he's been with the company, and it has been probably some of the worst treatment I think I've ever seen John Morrison go through as a professional wrestler. This man is in the best shape of his life, 42 years old, and he still can move around like he's 20. And this is what he gets. 90 seconds and a loss to Otis. I'm still trying to figure out why John Morrison even re-signed with the WWE. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Pitiful. Absolutely fucking pitiful. Then we had Sheamus versus Chad Gable. Sheamus versus Chad Gable. Chad Gable. Again, 30 seconds. 30 seconds and a bro kick. And then 30 seconds later, another bro kick. 60 seconds, Chad Gable loses. 60 seconds, Chad Gable loses. Number one, was this really necessary? Was it really necessary to get this match on the show? Number two, how many fucking times do we need to see Sheamus versus Chad Gable? Number three, the treatment of Chad Gable on this show is absolutely fucking pathetic. Absolutely inexcusable. This man is the fucking future, and you have him in a short gimmick. Oh, by the way, what the fuck happened to the King's Ransom? What the fuck happened to the King's Ransom? Wasn't Chad Gable partnered up with Baron Corbin? Apparently not anymore. Apparently they forgot about that. I wish they would fucking forget about this fucking Shorty G gimmick. 60 seconds and a bro kick. Sheamus wins. Next week, we actually have a Falls Count Anywhere match. Big E was actually being interviewed in the back on a camera phone, and he said that I'm coming to you next week in Falls Count Anywhere match. So he was actually very intense. It was intense, he was energetic, and he was entertaining. I'm still wondering, why haven't we seen that Big E over the course of the last 2 months? If we're starting to get this Big E now, then I'd like to have hope that WWE is going to invest in a singles run with Big E, but to be quite honest, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't see Big E factoring into any singles championship title pictures anytime soon. I'm still waiting for Kofi Kingston to come back, and then Big E is going to team up with Kingston, and they're going to win the tag team titles again. Somewhere down the line, I guarantee you, New Day's going to be the one to take the titles off of Cesaro and Nakamura. I don't want it to happen, but I have a sick feeling that it will. So we have a Falls Count Anywhere match next week on the first night of the draft. Kevin Owens show with Alexa Bliss. Kevin Owens show with Alexa Bliss. So he introduced Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss coming out with a Halloween-like dress, a Hocus Pocus-like dress. For those of you that love Hocus Pocus, I fucking hate Hocus Pocus, but Hocus Pocus-like dress, crazy hair, up in buns, and Owens said that he's seen a change in Alexa Bliss, kind of like the same change that he saw in his nemesis Aleister Black. And Bliss says that she doesn't know what it means. Owens says that this isn't her. Bliss says, don't you want to be like her and change? Owen says that he's trying to, but he doesn't understand this darkness. Bliss says when you meet him, it's terrifying and enchanting at the same time, and you can't look away. But you don't know anything about that, do you, Kevin? So obviously, he says that I don't think we're talking about Aleister Black anymore, are we? He's here, isn't he? Said Kevin Owens. Bliss says he is, and he's cleansed her, and he is here. Then she says, let him in. So the lights go out, and then the Fiend's music hits, that creepy music, and then the Fiend came into the ring, and he put Kevin Owens in the mandible claw. And Kevin Owens passed out to the mandible claw, and the Fiend was then back up, and he turned around, and he looked at Alexa Bliss. He slowly walked over to Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss, she's like tilting her head to the side, tilting her head one way, tilting her head the other way, very seductively tilting her head with these eyes, looking at the Fiend like she wants to jump on him and just start having a live fucking sex celebration right there. So the Fiend slowly then reached his hand out. And Alexa Bliss got up. And she took his hand. And she looked at the camera with this maniacal, devilish-like smile. And that was it. Never in my life did I ever think I'd ever say that Alexa Bliss is the best thing about WWE, or one of the best things about WWE, but she is. Alexa Bliss, this is probably the best that Alexa Bliss, this is the best that Alexa Bliss has looked ever since 2017. I am not even lying right now. This is probably the best that Alexa Bliss has looked since 2017. The Fiend is dead and buried. I just want to point that out there. The Fiend is dead and buried. Fiend is dead and buried, but this storyline with Alexa Bliss is very, 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 very fucking good. I do want to point that out there. I do not know where this is leading. I don't know where this is leading, but this segment was great. I thought this segment was excellent. Baron Corbin, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Lince Dorado, Gran Metalik, and Matt Riddle. Great. 2 rematches combined into 1. And the champions lose. Matt Riddle hits the Bro Derek on Cesaro for the win, and Kalisto and Dorado got into an altercation because Kalisto accidentally kicked Dorado in the match behind the referee's back. Great. Great. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I don't know where the fuck Cesaro and Nakamura are going. I'm still wondering why Heavy Machinery is not being built up to face off against Cesaro and Nakamura for the tag team titles, and why we are subjected to a fucking court of law storyline with Otis and The Miz, where Otis is fucking representing himself in court. Stakes and weights. Unfucking believable. So Sasha Banks then came out to discuss her side of the story with the... I don't even know why the fuck Sasha Banks is even on television right now. Why the fuck is Sasha Banks on television? Keep her off of television. They have fucked up this storyline. No matter how you look at it, no matter what happens this month, they have fucked up Sasha Banks and Bayley tenfold. How much do I got left? So Sasha came out. She said that Bayley is nothing without her. And she said that next week, no one's going to save you because you don't stand a chance, bitch. Obviously, they're planning Bayley and Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title next week, which I don't even understand why. Now, based on the report from WrestleVotes, that says that the main event of Hell in a Cell is going to be Sasha and Bayley inside the cell, I would like to hope, I really would, and I don't advocate for this. Matter of fact, I wish that this would be abolished. I fucking hate clickbait matches that WWE does, or as I like to call it, book bait. I fucking hate the book bait style of matches. But in this case, I hope to God this is WWE just book baiting us. I hope to God that this is nothing more than an advertisement to just pop a rating, which is fucking pathetic in its own right, but I really hope that this is nothing more than an advertisement to simply pop a rating, and Bayley's going to attack Sasha Banks. Bayley's going to attack Sasha Banks, and she's going to injure Sasha Banks even further, and we either take Sasha Banks off of television, or we get the match at Hell in a Cell. Bayley wins, Sasha's taken off of television there, and then Sasha comes back and wins the Rumble. I hope to God that the match next week is nothing more than a clickbait type matchup. I hope the match doesn't happen. I hope Bayley comes out and attacks Sasha, and we don't get the match at all. I hope to God. Either that, or it goes about 5 minutes and then ends in a DQ. I hope to God. I hope to God. Then the main event, Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship. Well, actually, before that, we actually had some matches set for next week. So obviously we got Sheamus and Big E, Falls Count Anywhere match. We got Sasha and Bayley for the SmackDown Live Women's title. And we got The Fiend and Kevin Owens next week. So we got all that next week. Interested to see what happens there. Don't really give a shit for Kevin Owens coming over to SmackDown. And even though I fucking love Kevin Owens, but still. But anyway, we got Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a very, 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 very good Intercontinental Championship match, and I am loving the way that they have been booking Sami Zayn ever since he came back. They have been doing some great shit with Sami Zayn, and I'm not sure if it's by design. And I'm going to talk about that before we end the stream, because we've gone over 2.5 hours, and I'm going to get out of here in just a little bit. But the match itself was great. We had Hardy targeting the injured ribs of Sami Zayn. The turnbuckle pad was exposed, and it was actually revealed during a picture-in-picture that Sami Zayn took the turnbuckle pad off of the turnbuckle while Jeff Hardy was making his entrance, and no one saw. So Sami Zayn right there, obviously he had a fucking plan. Sami then dodged Poetry in Motion going into commercial. Jeff crashed right into the barricade. Sami with an elbow to the head for 2. We had a big superplex by Hardy, followed up by a basement dropkick and a splash. Oh, you're barbecuing now, Danielle. Well, I'm about to wrap up in just a little bit. So, big basement dropkick and a splash for 2. We had a big exploder suplex into the corner by Zayn. Hardy got caught with the Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2. We had the Swanton Bomb, but Zayn got the knees up. Hardy then went for Whisper in the Wind, but Zayn tripped up Hardy, and Hardy went face first on the top turnbuckle, and Sami covered to retain. Very, very, very good match here between Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy. Now, I'd like to have hope that they do have plans for Sami Zayn. I really do. Sami Zayn's been doing some great work. Sami Zayn has been booked like an absolute fucking... He's the Albert Einstein of WWE. I'm the Albert Einstein of the IWC. He's the fucking Albert Einstein of the entire fucking WWE. He is doing some excellent fucking shit. Excellent right now. Well, I'm still wondering why this wasn't the Sami Zayn that we saw in the Intercontinental Championship match with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Where was this Sami Zayn at WrestleMania? The match was excellent. Sami Zayn's booking, Sami Zayn's portrayal has been excellent, and I'd like to believe that they do have plans for Sami Zayn, but I can't help but have this sick feeling that the only reason that Sami Zayn's the Intercontinental Champion right now is because Jeff Hardy signed a new contract. The whole reason behind WWE giving Jeff Hardy the win over Sheamus and then beating Styles for the Intercontinental title 2 days before SummerSlam was to get him to sign a new deal with the WWE so he wouldn't go to AEW and join his brother Matt. And now that Jeff Hardy is under a new contract, WWE has him shackled, ball and chained. WWE has him shackled, ball and chained under their wing, and he's not going anywhere. So now they have no use for him anymore. Now they can do whatever the fuck they want. They really have no use for Jeff Hardy anymore. So now what they're going to do is they're pretty much going to waste Jeff Hardy away. And that, I have a sick feeling, that is the only reason why Sami Zayn is the Intercontinental Champion. I'd like to believe that they're investing in Sami Zayn, but it's hard for me to actually believe that they actually have investment in Sami Zayn when for 5 fucking years they constantly fucking mistreated this guy day after day on the main roster. They constantly fucked over this guy day after day. So at the end of the day, he's doing some great shit, but I don't know. I just can't believe that WWE has actual investment in him. I can't. I have a feeling, I have like some strange feeling that at Hell in a Cell we're going to get Riddle and Zayn's going to lose. And Riddle's going to be the Intercontinental Champion going into next year. I just have this feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they do have plans for Sami Zayn, but I just can't help but get this feeling that the only reason why Sami Zayn is the Intercontinental Champion is because Jeff Hardy signed a new contract, and they don't give a shit about Jeff Hardy anymore. Now it's all about just wasting Jeff Hardy away because he's ball and chained under WWE contract. I don't know about you. He's doing some great shit. I'm going to enjoy the Sami Zayn era while it lasts, but I just have a sick feeling that it's not going to last too long. And that sucks. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been here for over 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. I need to get out of here because I'm going to go over to my grandma's. That has been the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. I will post after the stream. I'm going to go eat. I promise I will go eat. I promise. Anyway, God bless you all. You guys have a great weekend. You guys stay safe. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. I will catch you on Monday. For the rewind for NXT TakeOver 31. Be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. I got a lot to say. You guys have an awesome weekend.